knowing that you can change your behavior and your thinking to have a better outcome is like the core part of this, I think. And that's something you should take away.
I guess this course presents it in a very digestible manner that other things haven't really, and that's been the main benefit of it.
Yeah, I noticed how like much my emotions are affected by the people I surround myself with. And I think since this course, I've changed who I hang out with completely almost. And I've started hanging out with people that like have positive mindsets, and it's definitely made me a happier person compared to the first session.
I think the changes have been how she manages her routines, and like in some ways I feel like she's taken on board doing some of the easy things that can make a difference. And had the feedback. So an example would be regulating her sleep time. And that's been a really big one in our household because we're a really late household. You know, there are no, let's go to sleep now because it's like, 11:30 because everyone might be still up. So I think she's been really disciplined despite that. And that's made a huge difference. I mean, that's just one example.
So I go home and I go, we learned this thing and you told me about this earlier, but I just want to reinforce it because it was really useful. And I tell my mum about it. She's like, should have known this myself when I was younger. And I was like, yeah.
Yeah, I think the introduction to the framework that you've given the students is invaluable. It basically has alerted them to the fact that these types of ideas exist and that those types of tools are available.
And beforehand, I was kind of just stressed about the future and stressed about everything. But because of these sessions, I think today we talked about as well, like taking one thing at a time, taking like each day by day, focusing on like the present, living in the present, and focusing less on the past and the future.
And like not putting so much pressure on ourselves to change everything by ourselves at one time. It takes like a little bit of effort every day.
And changing things that you can control and not like trying to worry about everything that you have in your hands.
This kind of thing is really what I just think it's really important to be taught to people. And like I've looked into it, this sort of like thinking and stuff like before the course, but I think it's good, like it's been good to do it with classmates and stuff, and then to actually talk to them about it. And I've noticed like a difference, like even for myself, with the more people who are kind of open, like it kind of opens people's mind. And
yeah, I think like doing the mindfulness, like the diaries and stuff like that has definitely helped my outlook. And I've been like noticing small things that I normally wouldn't notice.
Yeah, and those like small things like really do make a change. They accumulate and just lead for the greater good.
Yeah, I guess I'm always interested to know, well, firstly, what's going on in Eva's world, but then all of those subjects and topics she covered, I would be interested in, hearing about and knowing about.
Is this helping me or is this harming me? So I try to kind of detox sometimes. Like I put my phone away for like the rest of the day and I'm like, I don't want to be overwhelmed today.
I think, well, for me, I've started using the app Chandler recommended. I use that every night before I go to bed.
You mentioned that.
And I think that helps me get to sleep. And I do think if you manage to keep up meditation like regularly, I think it does improve my ability to focus on tasks, because that's something I think my generation is increasingly struggling with, that thing of everything is designed to cater to a very short attention span, and I think meditation can help counteract that, and I think it contributes just to that self-reflection which brings self-awareness, and self-awareness kind of permeates everything. It helps with lots of different things if you're aware of how you're reacting.
I also want to mention the bit that like I would take away from this is the so what questions that you mentioned today. I think that was really like insightful for me because I struggle a lot with worrying about everything and anything all the time. And the idea of only worrying about the things that I can control definitely like put into perspective what I should actually be worrying about in year 12.
Through the course, I think I've had a greater focus on being present in the moment, which is a big thing for me right now that I'm like keep coming back to try and be more present. And I think it's helped with that.
because we're faced with tough challenges every day as like teenagers in such a success-driven environment, and it can be tough to face these challenges sometimes. So it feels nice
to be able to bounce back from it and having those tools.
And that's what resilience does.